Paul, we always knew it was going to be a tough fixture coming here against Nottinghamshire at Trent Bridge. Losing out to Duckworth Lewis once again, twice in 2 games now. What are your thoughts on that result?
Yeah, obviously, we can't blame Duckworth Lewis. We allowed Notts to get too many. We just didn't bowl our best ball often enough. Top of middle stump, hard, on a very, very good surface at Notts, which we're normally used to. And probably one of the few bowlers that can walk away. Tommy Taylor was outstanding again. Bowling in the power plays, the way he bowled, asked good questions, didn't have much luck, a few top edges, but he went for 7 and over on this pitch. Was an outstanding effort. Chris Wright as well bowled well and held an area, but we just slipped when we let our bad balls were poor balls, and the lads have had a good debrief and are disappointed just executing skills correctly. Their batsmen put us under good pressure, so great lessons there to learn from us all. So disappointing. We were in the game until the rain came. We were probably just ahead of Notts after sort of 27 overs. I think they were 200-ish, just under 200 or about 200, and we were just over that. So we were in the game, and then Duckworth Lewis came in the end, and it was too much. 195 off 15.1, I think it was. Duckworth Lewis came. It was always going to be a crazy ask, but pleased the way Mark Cosgrove and Harry Eden played early. They played beautifully together. Outstanding opening partnership. They kept us in the game and set the game up. And then, once Cos got out, we had a couple of quiet overs, and the run rate built, and then obviously the rain came a little while later. So, really, the guys, you can't fault the guys' effort. The batters were outstanding. They all played for the team. They all were relentless in their pursuit for boundaries, which it was then. The difference, a bit of pace came on. The overseas pro came in and bowled beautifully, and made it tough for us. We had to go extra from somewhere else, and that can easily bring demise of wickets.
Yeah, you just mentioned Tom Taylor there. We'll come to him a bit later in the interview. But if we just think about the 4-3-4 that obviously Notts posted, 300 is a good score nowadays in one day cricket. What were your thoughts going into that when your boys were walking out to the crease for the first time in an attempt to chase that? What are you thinking?
Yeah, well, we need to get a good start. We look at 60 balls. An outstanding start is sort of anywhere between 75 and 100 ideally. 100's be magnificent, getting ahead of the game, but 75 keeps it in us, just over a run of ball with the odd boundary. There's still a game on. We saw Worcester at our place when we got 370, nearly 380. If they had wickets in hand, they could have done it. So we were thinking the same again. It just takes one person. They didn't get 100. If it takes one person to get 150, 170, which can be, if one of your top order batsmen can bat 120, 130 balls, then that's going to happen. So we still have belief that we could get close. We knew there was a bit of rain around. We'd hoped that if we had wickets in hand, Duckworth Lewis could be kind to us with the wickets in hand, but sadly this time it wasn't. But you never know. We thought a wet ball later, tough for the bowlers to come back. The outfield, it skids on, and a wet ball is very difficult to control. So proud of the way the batsmen played, but still too many. We let them get too many.
And you changed the batting line up a little bit. I'm going to assume that's just due to the score posted by Nottinghamshire. And one thing that you mentioned after the Derbyshire defeat was meaningful partnerships, and Cosy and Dearden came out and certainly did that. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, very pleased. We sort of thought about Cosy up in the batting at the start of the year. He likes 3, so we sort of kept him there. A fantastic pitch. He has been hitting the ball well in his practice and his prep, and even in the games he's played well. He's just been unfortunate getting out, probably almost overconfident sometimes because he's such a good player. But he has that belief in himself, which makes him the player he is. And it's always a huge ask. 400 plus is a huge ask, and you've got to, you're asking a lot. They're a skilled side. Notts, they've got a lot of good players. We weren't as good as we should have been in the field. We dropped 4 or 5 catches, 1 or 2 half chances that we should take at this level. So obviously we're disappointed there, and Steve Mullaney's innings, the way he constructed his innings was outstanding. Their skipper, it was a top class innings. He just needed one of our top order to bat 120, 130 balls. We might have got close, but really, we've got to look. It was just too many runs.
And then, as you've mentioned, Duckworth Lewis came. You were going well before that. and then obviously seeing that you needed 195 from 15.1 overs, it must be a bit disheartening once you know you started off the game well. How does that affect your strategy going into the final stretch of the game?
Yeah, very tough. It was a tough ask, of course it was. We started really well. Lewis Hill played outstandingly well. Shame that Harry Deelan just got out just after that. He had the momentum, and then that's sort of taken away a little bit with the break. But Lewis is striking the ball beautifully. Nice to see Paul Horton, the captain, come in and he got in, he rotated, then he dominated, and that's what we're looking to do with our strategy. Hort's played some really good calculated shots, so pleasing there. Too many, way too many. We know we've got to risk, we've got to hit 3 boundaries and over to get near 14, 15 and over, and very, very tough. But proud of the guys, the way they fought hard. Halfway in this, 3/4 of the way in this game, we were in the game. So, it always boils down to, as a man of the score, and if any team can do it, it can be Notts. Generally, the short boundaries here, they push 400 before with short boundary on one side. Today we were more in the middle to the right hand side of the pavilion, so it wasn't a small dinky boundary as it normally is. So, it was a bloody good batting performance from them and fair play.
And to come on to Tom Taylor, he bowled 10 overs for 70. How good has that been? As obviously he bowled for most of the power play.
Yeah, absolutely. Tommy's a high-class young bowler. He's a high-class young cricketer. Power plays are always tough here, as tough as anywhere in the world, because these pitches, I think there's more runs scored here in one-day cricket than anywhere in the world. So, if you come out of it with good players coming hard at you, just overrun a ball with 5 fielders, in here in that circle, it's very, very tough. So he's showed good skills today. Chris Wright also bowled well at a difficult time when batsmen are in. And he kept it down to 7 and over as well. So pleasing. I felt a little bit for our spinners today. Notts guys play them well, especially Ben Duckett, England player. He's a quality act. He sweeps, reverse sweeps. He goes up the pitch well. He slog sweeps well. He's the finished article as far as playing spin, and he gave us a lesson about how to play spin bowling today.
And there's no time to dwell on what's just happened today. Obviously, going into Lancashire on Sunday. How do you approach that one now?
Yeah, again, same as this. We prepare well. We do our homework on the opposition. There's a very good chance it'll be a used wicket. It'll probably be the pitch that they've played on before. So, it could be pace off the ball. It could be spin friendly up there. It generally turns a little bit more than the average county ground. Gets good bounce as well. So square of the wicket's going to come into the game more than straight. We've got to. It's just about executing your skills well, and we've just got to back ourselves, believe in ourselves, and execute well. Yorkers we were a little bit short of today. Luke Fletcher gave us a lesson of how to bowl Yorkers. The way he executed well at them. He was going around the park, and then he thought, right, after Duckworth Lewis, it's almost a T20 game. Bang, I go to my go-to Yorker, and he practices it well most days, and we see the results out in the middle. He keep talking about execution, but it's all about execution. Your thinking can be right, but you've got to execute it well, and Fletch does that well.